Hello and welcome if you're new to my channel, and if you're a subscriber, a warm welcome back. A couple of weeks ago, one of my subscribers asked me a number of questions about the Celine 16 bag. She posted about 5 comments and I didn't respond until a couple of days later after I thought she had finished posting, because she would post and then wait a couple of hours, post something else after she had time to reflect on what she had said. And I thought, let me respond via video, because the questions, her thoughts are typical. They were very good, and the type of questions I'm sure a lot of other people are asking and would want to know the answer. So I thought this is a very good video that would have more of a mass appeal in the response. And the comments she posted are as follows. Great video, thank you. I love the Celine 16, have 2. I do think Celine is too expensive. Day later, she posted 2 more comments after she had time to reflect on the previous comment. When I started thinking about it, it's kind of illogical because their leather is very good. However, other brands like LV, Chanel, and Dior have extra costs like the heavy marketing. If Celine is so low-key in terms of marketing, why are they making their bags so expensive? Wouldn't volume of sales, if the bags were slightly less expensive, work in their favor? When you're not a super premium brand, why charge super premium prices? It's a bit of a conundrum to me. And then her next comment, I never paid full price for both my Celine 16s because they're heavily discounted in the pre-loved market. And then her final comment, their older bags retain their value and never come on the market. So I think it's the Celine 16, which I love, by the way, which is an overpriced bag, I guess. I'm going to break down the numerous questions in her comments into different sections in this video and just tackle them in the hope that it'll answer questions which I'm sure a lot of people have. I'm Anesu Sagonda, and I produce educational luxury content for anyone after the finer things, whether you're young and starting out in life and wanting to reap the benefits of buying quality from the get-go, or you're into luxury but you want to focus more on quality under the radar brands, or you're new to money and wanting to learn how to navigate the terrain, then my content is geared towards you. The last sentence of the first comment threw me off a little bit. I do think Celine is too expensive. When I read that, I wasn't sure how to answer it, because I thought, you think it's a little too expensive, but you've just bought 2 bags. And this is before I found out they were bought on the pre-loved market. But regardless, they would still have been pricey. They wouldn't have been cheap. I would hazard a guess and say the viewer possibly spent £600 through to about £1,000 per bag. I don't know, and that's not chump change. So I wasn't sure whether they meant too expensive in terms of the quality of the leathers in relation to the price. It didn't warrant that price tag, but they've bought 2 bags, or they meant it was too expensive, especially when compared to other better known, more visible, more aspirational brands like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Fendi, for example. And I just thought, how am I going to answer this? And I thought, let me wait a bit. And I'm glad I waited a day, because the next day she came back and said, when I started thinking about it, it's kind of illogical because their leather is very good. So I thought, okay, it's the quality thing. The leather's good, it's expensive, but it doesn't obviously compare to the LV and the Gucci's of this world, as she then went on to expand and say. Well, there are a couple of things I'd like to mention. Firstly, Celine is within what's called the premium core level of luxury. I'm going to attach above a video where I talk in detail about the different levels of luxury. Please do take a look at that video, because I go into a lot of detail as to what you are getting at each level of luxury. What are you paying for? What are the variables involved to justify the price, for example? The second reason I'd like to throw in as to they're too expensive, but they're actually worth the price, is Celine is owned by LVMH, Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy, and they are the largest luxury group in the world. And I'm going to attach another video above where I talk in detail about what exactly it means when you're owned by Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy, some of the distinct advantages of being owned by a parent with incredibly deep pockets. When you look at Celine, they're starting from a distinct vantage point in comparison to their competitors because they are given access by their parents to the very best. So they get access to the best suppliers in terms of the leathers, the hardware. They work with some of the best ateliers in the world. So the craftsmanship of the bags is going to be amazing. So they're starting with a product that is absolutely phenomenal. The next comment, however, other brands like LV, Chanel, and Dior have extra costs like the heavy marketing. If Celine is so low-key in terms of marketing, why are they making their bags so expensive? Well, firstly, by virtue of being owned by Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy, Celine don't technically have marketing costs. One of the advantages of being part of a group is the costs are taken care of by the brand. They shared across all the other brands within the family. So even if you are spending more or less on marketing, it doesn't really matter because the costs are balanced out by brands that are bringing in a lot more or brands that are taking less. It doesn't matter. It has no real implication for Celine because LVMH takes care of all of that for them. But where it really matters when it comes to the marketing, when Celine was first founded in 1945 by Celine Vipiana, it was a brand that was very much under the radar. Fast forward to 1996 and LVMH bought the brand. And when you're bought by a big powerhouse, they ultimately want to make money. It's not, they don't buy brands just for the heck of it, for the fun of it, and they think, oh yeah, we'll own it and it'll sit still. They are going to want to maximize the earning potential, the revenue that's going to come from that brand. And they'll do it in different ways and with different levels of, for use of a better word, aggression, depending on the brand and the look and feel of the brand. So LVMH have poured in money and it started off as a brand that was very much under the radar. They bought it in 1996. Michael Kors came in as the creative director. They had another director after Michael Kors, and then 2008, Phoebe Philo came in as the creative director of Celine, and she has been the creative director that has been responsible for making Celine the powerhouse it is. It's a brand that up until Phoebe Philo's time and past her time when she left 2008, it was a brand that was very much under the radar. There was no hype, no fuss, no fanfare associated with Celine. The only focus was on the craftsmanship, the incredible craftsmanship and the phenomenal quality of the materials that they used. And they produced amazing products that were classic in their appeal and typically classic in their look and focused more towards a more mature audience. And then 2008, Phoebe Philo left the brand to pursue her own personal interests, and Eddie Slimane came in as the new creative director. As I mentioned earlier, LVMH is here to make money, and they are brutal about it. They're ruthless, and they'll do whatever they have to do. They have the money to make anything happen. When Eddie came in, his remit was to increase the revenue, make Celine a lot more profitable than what it was. Up until his time, it was very much under the radar, and it was making a fairly solid income for LVMH, but he had to ramp that up. And one of the ways he had available to him was to introduce the brand to a new audience. And the new audience for him, they're already targeting a more mature audience, was a younger audience, your Gen Zs and your millennials. So Celine now, they have cranked up their marketing. It's no longer a brand that was under the radar. You will notice now that firstly, the clothes they're producing, they are focused, their clothes, their bags they're focused towards a much younger audience. They have the big logo emblazoned t-shirts, for example. They have the crop tops, which are incredibly age appropriate for your Gen Zs and your millennials. And then throw into that, they have denim with the chains that work for both your younger, older audience. They have the gourmet jackets. They also have the chasseur jackets. They're coming in at about £2,500 versus the Chanel heavyweights at about £7,000. And so the brand is starting to introduce Celine to a much younger audience to crank in more money into the brand. But it's very smart because you're coming into a younger audience. As they grow older, they mature into the rest of Celine's ready-to-wear. They get into, for example, the chasseur. They get into the rest of the brand. You start them young with the t-shirts. And then as they get older, they carry on enjoying the rest of the brand. So Celine stock is very much on the rise. They're no longer an under-the-radar brand. They're focused on growing the brand. They've also brought in incredibly heavyweight, relevant brand ambassadors. Think, for example, Blackpink's Lisa. You have Kaya Gerber. They're going to be costly. And then look at the new social media campaigns they're involved in, the print media. All of that is costing money, and it's starting to pay back because Celine is making more and more money and its audience is growing. So Celine's marketing costs are actually on the rise. Next comment. Wouldn't volume of sales, if the bags were less expensive, work in their favor? No, it wouldn't work in their favor. I'm going to attach above a video, a reaction video where I was talking about this whole concept of brand equity. Celine's brand equity is very much on the rise. It is high, and they are enjoying the benefits of their high brand equity. Brand equity, as I've mentioned before, is the value of the brand. It's fundamentally the difference between the branded product versus just a generic product. And the difference between that is the premium that Celine is able to charge. And it's based on the consumer's perception of the brand, their perception of the high quality of the brand, the association, the regard, the loyalty they have for Celine. It's going up, and that's reflected in their prices. They are high because they can justify them. And then throw into that, Celine is enjoying the benefits of their high brand equity. They don't go on sale anymore. They're ready to wear. Their bags do not go on sale, and they're still being sold at the high levels and the continuing high levels that they want, that they're expecting, because people have high regard. People like the fact that it's expensive. People buy into luxury because they're buying into an identity, and the more expensive it is, the more people want it, the more people like it. I'm going to attach in the description box down below a wonderful article one of my amazing subscribers, T. Marguerite, sent through a couple of weeks when I was talking about poor people buying luxury. Luxury is very much about an identity, as I keep saying. People buy into luxury because they want to associate with whatever that luxury brand stands for, or they want to buy it because the products make them happy being associated, for example. But when it comes to poor people, for example, it gives the impression you're okay. It gives the impression that you're able to keep up with other people, with the Joneses. You're able to fit in. Even though you're poor, you will do whatever you have to do to give that impression, because it's such a vicious cycle. When you look at the psychology of luxury, it's all about perception. How are people looking at me? How do I come across? Those are some of the dynamics at play when people are buying luxury goods. And then the final comment, when you're not a super premium brand, why charge super premium prices? It's a bit of a conundrum to me. Celine is not super premium. Super premium is, think Chanel, Moynat, Delvaux, Bottega Veneta, for example. And when it comes to super premium, it's bags that are priced between £3,000 and £5,000 typically. And with super premium, you're buying into absolutely everything. Price is not even a consideration. You're buying into the quality, the heritage, the prestige, the exclusivity associated with the brand. Celine is premium core, and it's very comfortably within premium core. And I would put it in the top half when it comes to brands within premium core. It's very much about the quality first and foremost before price is a consideration. And it's a brand that very confidently upholds the standards of premium core. And then the final bit I'd like to answer is their older bags retain their value and never come on the market. So I think it's the Celine 16, which I love, by the way, which is an overpriced bag, I guess. Well, I don't quite think so, because Phoebe Philo's bags are the ones that really help to establish Celine's authority in the market. Some of the bags have been discontinued with the new creative director, which is to be expected. He's coming in with his new ideas to revamp the brand and to also help meet the new remit of the brand. They have kept some of Phoebe Philo's old bags and some they've discontinued. So they've carried over with Eddie Slimane, for example, the Cabas Phantom, the Songler, the belt bag, the box classic, and also the luggage bags. Eddie has come in and introduced a number of ranges, the Ava, the Triumph, the Celine 16, for example, that I have spoken about. And he's come in with his own ideas and new designs that are doing incredibly well. As the viewer pointed out, the older bags retain their value because they've had a longer time to assert, to make their mark in the market. People associate Celine very much with the old styles. Eddie's designs are new. People don't know them so well, and they don't have the same high regard, for example, they place on the old bags from Phoebe Philo. So it is only to be expected that the impression people have of the Celine 16, that's reflected in the price, is lower. Give the brand time and you possibly will see a change. Prices will start to come up. I don't know, but right now I don't expect the new bags to have the same price as the old bags, because the old bags are the ones that really made Celine what it is today. Celine is enjoying the benefits of all of Phoebe Philo's work, and Eddie is just continuing that and continuing to make Celine a success. Be real. I hope I've answered all the questions, all the comments, and given them answers and given you a little more food for thought and made you help better understand why Celine 16 is expensive when you look at the full retail price and also the pre-loved market price. You are buying quality. You have done well. You're buying a brand that's under the radar. You're buying quality. You're buying craftsmanship. And those are bags that'll last you a lifetime. Any other comments? As always, let me know in the comment section down below. But thank you for watching, and of course, please do subscribe so you don't miss out on future content.